Hello, hockey fans, and we have finally come down to it. The 12th and final part of our look at the great career of Teemu Selanne. And to cap it off, we look at the final numbers, the tallies and trophies of his 21-season career. And indeed, 684 goals, 773 assists for 1,457 points is where we start. When Selanne retired, his 1,457 points was 15th best all-time, and as of November 27, 2025, he sits at 18th all-time. But among European players, he sits 3rd all-time. He is still the top-scoring Finnish player of all time. The only active Finnish player even close to him is Alexander Barkov of the Panthers with 782 points. And while Barkov is a great hockey player, he's a completely different style and will likely never catch Selanne. Selanne also finished 59 points ahead of idol Jari Kurri. The two ahead of him, of course, are Alex Ovechkin, who some may say could catch Jagr depending on how much longer he plays, and Jaromir Jagr is the all-time leader with 1,921 points. Evgeny Malkin on this list is still active and has a chance to pass Selanne, while Anze Kopitar at 38 might have a slight chance, but it's doubtful considering his style. For assists, Selanne currently sits 43rd all-time among players, but among Europeans, he sits in 9th, 11 points ahead of Nicholas Backstrom, who definitely looked to pass him, but left the NHL. This was the only major career scoring category he was unable to pass Jari Kurri in terms of Finnish players. Alex Ovechkin, as of November 27, sits at 737 and could very well pass him in terms of active players. Selanne was 11th all-time in goal scoring upon his retirement in 2014, and among Europeans, only the 2nd behind Jagr. And now he sits in 3rd, as we all know Ovi is the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history, period. And he finished 82 goals behind Jagr in 2nd. Once again, he is the all-time Finnish goal-scoring leader, and will likely hold that one for a long time yet. He's still just one of 8 Europeans to reach 500-plus goals, and just one of 4 to reach 600. Of course, Jari Kurri was another. Malkin is closest to the active lead, but who knows how much time he has left. Now, with those 684 goals, a lot of goalies fell victim to Selanne. 153 to be exact. That's only 3 less than Gretzky. But the top 10 read like a who's who of the era. Selanne victimized Hall of Famer Mike Vernon 19 times above all the others. Selanne got the better of him early on in his career when Vernon was in his final days with Calgary. He also got to him a fair bit when Vernon was playing for Detroit and San Jose, as well as the latter part of Mikey Boy's career. Second most allowed was Nikolai Khabibulin, who was a teammate of Selanne's during Selanne's final 2 seasons in Winnipeg. The Bulin wall was broken down thanks to the Finnish Flash 18 times. Selanne decimated him while he was playing for Phoenix and occasionally in Tampa and during his couple stints in Chicago and Edmonton. It was a 3-way tie for 3rd. Sean Burke, Curtis Joseph, and Kirk McLean. They were all star goaltenders in their era, and Selanne caught them 17 times each. Burke was often on lackluster teams throughout his entire career, but as Selanne got to him a fair bit in Hartford, despite not being in the same conference, it was actually Burke's time in Phoenix where he actually played his best years, and Selanne really lit him up. Joseph, who had over 400 career wins, is a strong Hall of Fame candidate I still believe to this day, but it didn't seem to matter where he played, St. Louis, Edmonton, Toronto, Detroit, or Phoenix, and Toronto being the only one not in the West. Selanne always had his number. And Selanne's luck against the Canucks meant bad luck for Kirk McLean very early in Teemu's career. At number 6, Stéphane Fiset saw Selanne turn on the red light 16 times, mainly when Fiset was playing for the Kings. Patrick Waugh, the second Hall of Famer on this list, is tied with 15 allowed at 7th. A few of which came in Waugh's latter days in Montreal, but not all that much. But most of them came during Waugh's glory years in Colorado. Also, journeyman Jeff Hackett allowed 15. In 9th, another Hall of Fame candidate in my opinion, Chris Osgood, who led in 14, primarily during his best years with the Red Wings. While Thomas Vokoun rounds it out in 9th, tied for 9th with Ozzy that is, allowing 14, primarily of course when he was playing for Nashville. And now we go to the men who set up Selanne for all those 684 goals, and to the shock of literally nobody and their dog on this earth, Paul Kariya assists on 88 of Selanne's goals. That's close to 13%. That is insane, considering they only played 7 seasons together, and only 5 of them were full seasons, and one was that ill-fated season in Colorado where Kariya just set him up for 1 goal. And this is why also, too, in second, Steve Ruchin deserves a lot of credit. And more than he gets, I mean, because he himself set up Selanne 69 times, and that was all during the first tenure with the Ducks. Ryan Getzlaf comes in 3rd during Selanne's second tenure with the Ducks with 57 setups and was a major part of Selanne's revival from 2005 to his retirement. Despite not playing all that long together, Andy McDonald is 4th. And they did play together one season in Selanne's final year in Anaheim for during the first stint, but where everything happened, it was just 2 seasons. And McDonald, again, was a major key behind Selanne's huge comeback in the 05-06 and 06-07 season with 44 setups. And the only one on this list from Selanne's days from the Jets from 92 to 96 is Alexei Zhamnov. He set up Selanne 42 times and was a major factor behind that amazing rookie season, and his entire time there to boot. Also worth noting are some of the defensemen he played alongside and had great communication with. Phil Housley was another major reason for Selanne's epic rookie year. Scott Niedermayer was key in Selanne's first 5 seasons back in Anaheim, as well as Freddie Olsen, who played alongside Selanne in Anaheim during a couple stints, as well as Winnipeg. And another Winnipeg line mate. Well, I'd say Keith Tkachuk deserves a lot of credit too. Korea is the only one on this list that's in the Hall of Fame. Getzlaf definitely has a shot, but it just goes to show how much he can bring out in anyone and vice versa. And who did Selanne set up himself? Where did most of those 773 assists go? Well, big shock. They went to Paul Kariya 97 times. 94 in Anaheim, of course. That means Selanne assisted on 24% of Paul Kariya's career goals. That is just remarkable. Nearly a quarter. Oh, wow. And a very distant second is Steve Ruchin, who Selanne assisted to 40 times. Tied with Keith Tkachuk, who Selanne set up 40 times in Winnipeg. And again, that's wild, considering the two only played 4 seasons together, and only one was above 70 games. Teemu was a big part of Tkachuk's emergence. In 4th, Alexei Zhamnov with 38. And a 3-way tie for 5th. Andy McDonald, Chris Kunitz, and Corey Perry, all part of Selanne's reemergence in Anaheim. He set them up each 28 times. Korea is a Hall of Famer here. I think Tkachuk still might get in one day. And for assist collaborations, Paul Kariya, again, surprise, surprise, leads the way with 54, meaning the two teamed up 239 times for goals. Zhamnov sits at a distant second with 34, Ruchin has 30, and Freddie Olsen appears for the first time on a list, 4th with 27. And again, he had 3 different stints with Selanne together, early years in the Peg, then his trade to Anaheim early on, and 2 seasons from 98 to 2000. Andy McDonald is 5th with 24. Selanne is also one of the all-time leaders in power play goals in NHL history. As of November 27, 2025, he sits 4th all-time with 255, 10 behind fellow winger and friendly rival Brett Hull with 265, 19 behind Dave Anderchuk in 3rd, and still active Alex Ovechkin is running away with the record. Other than Ovechkin, the active leader is Steve Stamkos, who sits 2 goals back of this as of this date from the top 10. Selanne always did well in the power play during his rookie year in Winnipeg especially, and also his early days in Anaheim. But really, he became a power play powerhouse later in his career. Selanne is also one of the all-time game-winning goal leaders. He always scored important goals at the right time. Not just game winners, as I talked about his prowess when his team is down by 2 goals in the 3rd and often leads a comeback. But he has 110 game winners, tied for 5th all-time with Brett Hull. Former Sharks teammate Patrick Marleau is tied for 7th all-time. And Selanne is also in the top 10 in offensive point shares of all time, a category he once led and consistently was in the yearly top 10 for. His share rating is 142.86, 8th best all time. This is a stat you can never guarantee what the future holds, but I have to guess he'll be holding in that spot in the top 10 for at least a little while to come. Indeed, Selanne still holds the NHL record, and nobody has come close to goals scored by a rookie in that historic 1992-93 season with that amazing 76, smashing Mike Bossy's record of 53 set back in 1977-78, which still ranks high. Ovechkin is the only one who's even come remotely close with 52 in 2005-06. It still ranks as a truly unforgettable accomplishment. While not impossible, as we've seen with Ovi breaking Gretzky's goal record, any record can be broken, but I just don't see it being broken anytime soon. He also still holds the NHL record as of 2025 for points by a rookie in a season with 132. He shattered Peter Stassi's record of 109, and again, Ovechkin is the only one who came close back in 05-06 with his 106. This record may not be broken anytime soon either, but I'd say it's a lot more attainable than the goals one. He also still holds the record for single goals in a season, well, goals in a single season, easy for me to say, by a European player, but he shares that record with Alex McGillney, who reached that mark as well in the 92-93 season. They skated by Yari Curry's record of 71 set in 1984 and 84-85. As you can see, Ovechkin is the only player to reach the top 5 since then, and David Pastrnak, all-star for the Bruins, scored 61. All that recently, just 2022-2023. But I still say, as good as he is, he won't break it. But I could be proven wrong. His 76 goals are also tied for 5th best of all time in a single season. As, of course, he shares that mark with McGillney and the great Phil Esposito, who was the first to hit that mark at time of the record in 1970-71. I can't say I see anyone reaching these numbers in this era. And Selanne's mark of 132 points in that season is still the 5th best mark by a European player as of 2025. It was one of the few finish records that he couldn't take from Curry, who was just ahead of him at 135. He notched that in 1984-85. When Selanne entered the league in the 1992-93 season, the league had just expanded to 24 teams. And when he retired in 2014, there were 30. And indeed, he had a goal against each and every one of them. Selanne played in the Western Conference his entire career with the 4 teams he suited up for. So clearly that will take up the majority of these top spots, and indeed, the LA Kings are the team he struck against the most, 52 times. Why do you think King fans hate him so much? The least was the Montreal Canadiens and Buffalo Sabres with 7 times each. The Sharks are a team he always played very well against and obtained many wins no matter how good or bad the Sharks were, and they were just shy of equaling LA at 51. He didn't really struggle too much against division or conference rivals, but of course he did better against some than others. The only conference rival he didn't seem to get the better of all that much was the Minnesota Wild, just 11 goals, whereas the Columbus Blue Jackets, who entered the league the same year in 2000, he fared better against with 21. Though it's crazy to think he scored 11 goals on Anaheim, despite only spending 7 seasons away from them since they entered the league, and only 5 were full seasons. Either way, this chart more or less, shows the great consistency against divisional and conference rivals, while still thriving against Eastern teams, especially Washington and Philadelphia. He has double digits on all but 5 teams. That's really good, even for someone with as many goals as he has. As Gretzky has the same stat of scoring on double digits on all but 5 teams. Even Ovechkin, with his 900 goals as of November 2025, still has 3 teams to reach double digits against. And just a few more tidbits before we move further on. Selanne is ranked 12th all-time in hat-tricks with 22. 20th all-time in power play goals on ice for with 857. 34th in total goals on ice for a period with 1,987. 16 in shots on goal, 4,540. And 13th all-time in even strength goals with 422. And now we move on to team stats. When Selanne retired, he led all 3 career scoring categories for the Ducks with goals, assists, and points. However, he was passed as the all-time points leader by former teammate Ryan Getzlaf, who retired in 2022 with 1,019 points, 31 points, more than Selanne's 988, which still ranks 2nd. And no active Ducks player is even close. Getzlaf passed Selanne on assists as well, as we had the exact same top 5 we did for points. Getzlaf passed it by a huge margin, by 206. Selanne's 531, however, still ranks 2nd, as Correa, Perry, and Fowler round things out. However, Teemu Selanne is still the Anaheim Ducks all-time goal-scoring leader by a large margin, with 457. Corey Perry departed the Ducks still 85 short of the mark. This is one he'll be holding on to quite a few years yet. Other categories Selanne ranks first in for the Ducks' history is as their all-time plus-minus leader with a plus 120, 273 even strength goals, were 10 more than what Perry had. Also, 182 power play goals, well ahead of the 107 from Korea, 578 power play goals on ice for ahead of Getzlaf's 495, 77 game-winning goals, Perry pretty close with 64, and hat-tricks with 13, Perry finished with 9. And offensive point shares with 101.2, far ahead of Getzlaf's 76.5. Others where he ranks in the top 5 for the franchise, 4th in all-time games played for the Ducks with 966. Perry, Fowler, and Getzlaf have passed him, Getzlaf being the leader. 3rd in shooting percentage with a 15.4. Number 2 in total goals on ice for with 1,331, also passed by Getzlaf. Now we look at his single-season mark. He still holds the Ducks record as of 2025 for points in the season with 109, setting his first full season as a Duck in 1996-97. He also holds the 3rd best spot with 107, which he notched 2 seasons later in 98-99. Korea fills the other 3 spots, 2 of them full seasons together with Selanne, and again just shows how truly magical these two really were together. For assists in the season, Selanne still holds the third best mark of 60 back in 98-99, just 2 behind Korea's mark of 62 at second best. Getzlaf holds the record, 66, set in an 08-09 season. Selanne's 58 assists in 1996-97 is in a 4-way tie with Korea, who reached the mark a season prior, and Getzlaf hit 58 twice in 07-08 and in 2016-2017. And indeed, Selanne still holds the team record, with the Ducks notching 52 goals in a season in 97-98, one of the years he led the league. He actually broke his own franchise record set the year prior of 51, which is ranked second best, and in turn beat Korea's record of 50 the year before that. Korea shares that third spot with Perry's banner season in 2010-2011, which Selanne was a huge contributor of. And running at the top 5 and taking up 3 overall spots, Selanne, we're at age 36. During the Ducks Stanley Cup winning season, hit 48. Another team record Selanne holds for a single season, even strength goals of 41 and 98. He also has the second most in team history at 39 the year prior. Power play goals of 25, both in 98-99 and 06-07, both separate stints with the Ducks. He had 18 in 2005-06, tied with Korea for 4th from 2001. 3 hat tricks for 97-98, his record he shares with Corey Perry, who set it twice, and Frank Vitarno. And his even 12.0 offensive point share rating from 97-98 still holds up, and he also holds the second and third spot in the top 5. And now we go to the Winnipeg Jets and his short yet oh so memorable time there. And of course these lists also cut the lineage of the now defunct Phoenix/Arizona Coyotes. Selanne holds the franchise record for most goals of the season with that epic 76 from his rookie year, smashing Hall of Famer Dale Hawerchuk's franchise best mark of 53 back in 84-85. Former lineman Keith Tkachuk is the only other person outside of those two to reach 50-plus goals since then, and he did it both in the final year in the Peg and the first year in the Desert. Selanne also set the team record for points in a season. That very same year, of course, with a monster 132, just 2 more, however, than the original mark set, again, by Dale Hawerchuk in 84-85. Selanne, Hawerchuk, and Paul McLean are the only ones in the history of the franchise to make 100 points in a season. Also in 92-93, he set team records, 52 even strength goals, 24 power play goals, 5 hat tricks, and a 12.2 in offensive point shares. And now we move on to the Olympics, where indeed Teemu Selanne, over the course of 6 tournaments, is the all-time points leader in Olympic history. 24 goals, 19 assists for 43 points in 37 games. Entering his last tournament in 2014, he was in a 3-way tie with Canadian Harry Watson and Czech native Vlastimil Bubnik. And as you can see here, longtime Team Finland teammate Saku Koivu was in 10th with 30 points. They were the only 2 in the top 10 for the NHL era of the Olympics. These two just had crazy chemistry together on the international stage and had a little bit in Anaheim as well. In 2017, on his first year of eligibility, he was a first ballot induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Teemu Selanne was enshrined. And what made it even sweeter, Paul Kariya was inducted that very same year. And the man Selanne looked up to, Jari Kurri, was in attendance for the festivities. In that very same year, Selanne was also inducted into the International Ice Hockey Federation Hall of Fame for his international achievements. And also in 2017, on the NHL's 100th anniversary, he was named one of the top 100 players in NHL history. Well, indeed, as the old cliche goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it might be worth even more when it comes to the career of Teemu Selanne. First and foremost, he achieved hockey's holy grail at the Stanley Cup in 2007, being their best clutch player in those playoffs. Of course, the records he holds: goals scored by a rookie, points by a rookie, goals scored by a European player, and, as of 2025, the first and only rookie to lead the league in goals. As a result, of course, he won the Calder Trophy as the league's top rookie. He was a team All-Star 4 times in his career: first team All-Star in 93 with the Jets, 97 with the Ducks, and a second team All-Star back-to-back with the Ducks as well in 98-99. He led the league in goals 3 times, 93, 98, 99, the last of which he was the first ever recipient of the Rocket Richard Trophy. He also received the Bill Masterton Trophy in honor of his comeback season from major knee surgery, returning to the Ducks for the second stint in 05-06. Outside of his 3 goal-scoring leading years, he finished in the top 10 in that category 3 other times, 97, 06, and 07, all with the Ducks. He was unable to achieve, however, that coveted Art Ross Trophy as league scoring champion, but finished in the top 10 7 times in points, 93, and 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2011, all with the Ducks, and even finished second in 97 and 99. He's also in the top 10 in assists, 96, 97, 99, 2000, and 2011. He led the league in even strength goals twice, 93 with the Jets, 98 with the Ducks. So in the top 10 three other times, 96, 97, and 2000. He led the league in power play goals twice, 99 and 2007. He was also in the top 10 in that category in 93, but with the Ducks he also got 4 straight from 2009 to 2012. And as of November 2025, ranks 4th all-time. He led the league in game-winning goals once in the 06-07 season and made the top 10  4 more times, 3 straight years with the Ducks from 97, 98, 99, and with the Sharks once actually in 2002, and as of November 2025, ranks 5th all-time in the big clutch. He led the league in offensive point shares at 98, made the top 10 7 other times, rookie year 93, so it's 96, 97, 99, 06, 07, and 2011. And he ranks 8th in all-time offensive point shares. Top 10 in shooting percentage 3 times, 97, 98, and 2007. Top 10 in total goals on ice for, 97 and 99. Top 10 in power play goals on ice for, 96 and 99. And you know, it just felt crazy that Teemu Selanne did not get the Lady Byng trophy, considering he was a finalist 5 straight times during his tenure with the Ducks, 96 to 2000, coming in second in 97 and 98, and got votes 8 other times. Twice with the Jets, all 3 seasons with the Sharks, and 8 more with the Ducks, totaling 18 in 21 seasons. The only time Selanne didn't even get votes was his Achilles injury season in 94, his one season with the Avalanche in 04, and his delayed rejoining of the Ducks in 09. That's just crazy. For the Hart Trophy as league MVP, he was only a finalist once, and that was in 98. That's just crazy. Even crazier, only 6 other times he got votes. 93, 96, 97, 99, 06, and 07. His defensive game evolved over time and got votes for the Selke Trophy twice, in 07 and 2011. He played in 10 NHL All-Star games, 3 times with the Jets, 93, 94, 96, 5 times with the Ducks, in 97, 98, 99, 2000, and 2007. And twice with the Sharks in 02-03, and he usually played very well in the All-Star games. So well, in fact, his hat trick in 98 was what named him the All-Star Game MVP that year. He always seemed to make an impact when it came to not just setting records, but giving team first and setting team records. I mean, for example, he led the Ducks to their first playoff appearance and series win both in 97, led them to their first Stanley Cup win, of course, and first division and conference first place finishes. He also led the Sharks to their first division title in 02. He still holds the Ducks records, of course, for goals and points in the season, still is their all-time leading goal scorer as of 2025, and with the original Jets/Coyotes now no longer in existence, he forever holds those team records for goals and points in the season from 93, and also a team award. He won the Molson Cup in 93 for most points from end-of-game 3-star selections. 1,000 career points, 500, and then 600 goals, all-time leading Finnish-born goal scorer and points leader. He also played in 1,457 total games and retired at plus 95. Not bad. He played in 130 playoff games, had 88 points, which may not be as dominant statistically as other superstar players of his era, but he still had some incredible and unforgettable performances in the postseason. Also, he was the first player to have his number retired by Anaheim. He's entered the Winnipeg Jets Hall of Fame as well. And now we move to international achievements. With Hugh Garrett, his first taste of pro hockey, he won the Finnish League Championship in 92, won the Remo Kalipo Trophy in 91, which is more or less the Finnish League equivalent to the Lady Byng, for sportsmanship and great play. And he was a league all-star both in 91 and 92. But now to Team Finland and the Olympics. Of course, I mentioned Selanne is the all-time leading scorer, 6 tournaments, 4 medals, 3 bronzes, which was the big 98 upset, plus 2010 and his great performance in the tournament in Sochi in 2014, and of course the silver in 06, the heartbreaking loss to Sweden. He also played in the 92 and 02 games as well. Selanne played well in most of the tournaments, but it was his performances in 98, 06, and 2014 that truly stand out. He led the tournament in scoring twice in 98 and 06, and the former he is best remembered for the playoff upset over Sweden, where Selanne played a beauty, and in 06, of course, the dominant run before the gold medal game. He was named tournament MVP for his amazing performance in the playoff round of the 2014 Olympics in Sochi, and he was named best forward at 06 in Torino. It was named tournament and all-star in both 06 and 2014. And now, the World Championships. He played in 5 tournaments, winning a silver in 99, a bronze in 2008, also played in 91, 96, and 2003. He was the tournament MVP and All-Star in '99. He also played in the '91 Canada Cup and the '96 and '04 World Cup of Hockey. The '04 tournament was memorable as Finland was a runner-up, and he showed he still had a little something left with those injuries and his career in doubt. In the end, 2017 IHF Hall of Fame, named one of the 100 greatest players of all time in NHL history, and, of course, the Hockey Hall of Fame. And in the end, his talent and skill may have made many a highlight reel over his entire career. What needs to be recognized a little more, however, in my opinion, is his heart and passion for the game, his leadership, his class, how he appreciated the fans who love him, and a desire to be at his absolute best and always try and find ways to improve himself and his team. An ambassador to his native Finland, giving so much growth and emergence to the Finnish hockey program, and indeed the program to continue to grow so much so that the Finns won their first Olympic gold medal in 2022. Selanne is a big reason why Finnish hockey always stayed alive. And indeed, that does it for our look at the incredible career of Teemu Selanne. If you have any ideas as to any other players you'd love to see us cover, please leave a suggestion below in the comments. In the meantime, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time,